Hi and welcome. This is our monthly webinar series where we discuss a variety of topics that directly influence your business. My name is Charles. I'm Director of Business Development at iTernal Networks. As a heads up, we are going to be muting everyone for the purpose of the webinar, but we do enjoy your participation in our polls and participation in our Q&A. If you have any questions, please type them into our chat box. There will be a raffle during our discussion, so please stay for the entirety of the raffle of the webinar. And we'll wait just a few more moments until everyone comes in. Okay, so let's begin. Last year, we saw a mass migration that shifted people away from their workplace and into their homes. Therefore, tools like Microsoft Teams have become much more important. I know our team uses Microsoft Teams and to help with facilitating communication and collaboration. So I am very excited to hear more about the tool and learn more about it in today's webinar. I'm joined with Michael Kanet, founder of iTernal Networks. And Mike, would you like to tell our viewers a little bit more about iTernal Networks and introduce our guest, and also give them a little bit more information about Microsoft Teams?
Sounds good. Welcome, everybody. It's been kind of a crazy week for me. I'm in the middle of moving my family into a new house, and so we've got painters downstairs and upstairs and lots of stuff going on. So I'm tucked away in the corner of the house here. Hopefully the echo in this empty room is not too bad for everybody. So I founded iTernal Networks about 11 and a half years ago. And I started it with the desire to help people solve their technology needs in their businesses. And we provide a large variety of different services to small and medium businesses within Nevada. And we focus on cybersecurity, Microsoft products, servers, backup, kind of you name it, and we provide it. We're joined today by Austin. He's a Microsoft specialist. I'll probably be doing most of the talking, but he may chime in from time to time. And let's see, is that Lucy joined us? All right, thanks for joining us, Lucy. She's with our Microsoft distributor as well, and helps us on the back end with lots of Microsoft products and things. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get into the slide deck. Let's see if I can click the right button. All right, here we go. Let me know if you guys can see that. Looks like everybody else is muted. I'll assume that everybody can see my slide deck here. So as you guys know from all the promotional messaging we sent out, we're going to be talking about Microsoft Teams and how to improve company collaboration with decentralized employees. We want to start off by a poll here and want to know, do you guys currently use Teams in your office, within your organization? Ariane, if you can throw that poll up there. So the options are yes, you're set up correctly and actively using it. Yes, but you're not confident that everybody's using it. No, but you'd like to start using it or planning on using it, or no, with no intentions. We'll give another few seconds here for the responses to come in. So it looks like so 50% of you are set up using it, 25% are using it but not sure to the extent you're using it, and the other 25% is not using it. So we'll go through and talk a little bit more about it, and kind of hopefully I'll answer a lot of the questions you guys may have about Teams. All right, so Microsoft Teams is not a new product. It's been around for several years. Our company's been using it for about 3.5, almost 4 years. We use it extensively throughout the day. I don't know how we would be able to do everything that we do without it. Microsoft provided these numbers from November 2019, there were 20 million daily users of Microsoft Teams. March 11th, 2020, it had grown to 32 million, and just a week later, it spiked to 44 million daily users. Now, we all know the reason for this. COVID-19 took the world by storm, and we all were shifted to working remote, working from home or wherever we could access the internet. Microsoft also shared the increase in their daily meeting and calling minutes. So March 16th of 2020, there was 900 plus million minutes, and within 2 weeks, it spiked to 2.7 billion minutes. That's pretty impressive jump up in Teams uses. I'm curious to know, I don't have a poll for this, but I'm curious how many of you were using Teams prior to March of last year, and how many of you implemented it afterwards? My guess is that at least some of you probably started using it after March. So we've got one other poll here, and this is kind of to help me gauge where you guys are coming from as we go through the slide. So this poll is, will you continue to have remote workers post-COVID? You know, as we're starting to come out of it and work more and more in our offices and able to get back to normal life. Just curious, how many of you are going to continue to have these remote workers? So yes, no, you're not sure, or you're going to offer a hybrid workplace. All right, those answers came in a little bit quicker. So it looks like we're about half and half. Yes, you'll have remote workers, and the other half say yes, a hybrid workplace. So it sounds like everybody's going to be continuing to have remote workers. That's no surprise to us here. We plan on doing the same. So Microsoft Teams is so much more than just a chat tool. We found that most of our clients that have been using Teams really only use a small percentage of it, and most of the time it seems like they only use it for chat, for messaging within their organization. But really it's so much more robust than that. There's so many different things that Microsoft has built into this tool. Microsoft Teams, according to Microsoft, this is their definition of it. It's the hub for team collaboration in Microsoft 365 that integrates people, content, and tools that your team needs to be more engaged. And I can say that we found that to be true. Microsoft Teams really is a hub to do all of these things on this slide: document collaboration, calling, video meetings, file sharing, screen sharing, integrations with Microsoft Office products and other apps, a calendar, present status. This is just what's built in by Microsoft. When you get into the third-party apps that extend Microsoft Teams functionality, it's even more. These are just some of them. So Salesforce, Zoom, ADP, Google Analytics, Trello, MailChimp, Constant Contact. There's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of third-party apps that will integrate within Microsoft Teams. We recently added a new one within our organization. If any of our clients are on this, you may have experienced it, but we use an SMS or a texting app called YakChat that allows us to send and receive text messages with our clients inside of Microsoft Teams. So by adding these third-party app extensions into Microsoft Teams, you can get other work done without having to leave Microsoft Teams and go to other applications, providing some time savings. So here's another poll question. What types of apps would you integrate with Teams, or would you like to integrate? And this is kind of like, to make your life easier, what would you be interested in integrating? Marketing apps, project management apps, support, ticketing apps, business, that could be sales, finance, HR, or other. And some of you may not even be aware that there's all these other integrations within Microsoft Teams. All right, we have a couple more seconds here. It looks like a good chunk of you have responded. So it's kind of across the board. We got marketing, project management, support, business, sales, finance, etc. So we're going to discuss a few things today. And if you have any questions after the webinar on third-party app integrations or how to do that, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help you out wherever we can. All right, Microsoft took a survey, and in that survey, they reported that 88% of the people responded felt that having all of their solutions in one place saves them time. And they estimated 4 hours per week were saved by being able to have improved collaboration and information sharing within Microsoft Teams. We've definitely found that to be true within our organization as well. And the time saving right there, that's directly, that's money back. That's resources back for the business owner, for the organization to be able to accomplish more, get more done in less time, and hopefully with a lot less stress for your team as well. All right, this is my favorite part of the slide deck. We're going to be talking and sharing some tips here with how to make it easier to deploy Microsoft Teams within your organization. It sounded like most of you, or a large percentage of you, already have Microsoft Teams, and so this may not apply, but that doesn't mean that you might be able to go back and make some changes to your existing deployment that might make things go a little bit smoother. So the first thing when you're getting ready to deploy Microsoft Teams is you need to figure out what the structure is going to look like. You need to figure out who your teams are, and what a team is basically a group. So there are teams inside of Microsoft Teams, and each of those can have multiple, 1, 2, 3, or hundreds of individuals as part of that team. Within that team, there are then channels within the application, and those channels could be for a variety of different things. So we have, in our team's deployment, we have a company-wide team that everybody's a part of. We have a technicians team that only the technicians are a part of. We have a marketing and sales team, and within each of those we have different channels. One I'll share with you is within our company-wide channel team, we have a channel called Laughs, and if we come across a funny meme or comic or joke or anything within our day-to-day, we can post that in there. In fact, I was driving around town, stopped at a stoplight, and I looked up at a billboard, and it's one of these new digital billboards, and it had a big fat Windows error screen right in the middle of the billboard. And being the technicians that we are, I took a picture of it and posted that in the Laughs channel with the rest of my team, so we could all get a good laugh at that. So as you're planning on developing these team channels, you want to look at, okay, who's going to own that team? The owner can add users, remove users, they can create channels, they can add app integrations, all of that. And you need to look at who are the members. The members are going to see anything that's posted in those channels. So make sure that you consider that, and you're not having employees post confidential, maybe financial or HR related comments in a team channel that other individuals might be able to see. We've also found in using Microsoft Teams that you don't want to have too many channels. It's very easy to say, oh, well, we want a channel for Laughs, and we want a channel for event notifications, and we want a channel for general discussion, and we want a channel for projects, and very quickly you end up with dozens and dozens of channels in your Microsoft Teams deployment, and it can get very clunky. So make sure you think through those different groups, teams, and those channels within there. The second thing is we recommend that you share Microsoft has provided and built out this interactive demo. The website is teamsdemo.office.com. And before deploying it, or shortly after deploying it, maybe at the same time, we recommend that you email out to your entire company, everybody that's going to use Teams, a link to this site, and have them go and walk through it. You can see in here an image that we took from that site, but it basically walks you and your employees through Teams and what the different pieces and parts are. Where they go to chat, where they go to look at the teams and channels, the calendar, the calling, how to search, all of that they can go and it really walks them through that in a way that they can get a better feel for how to use the program. Microsoft also has provided a quick start guide, and we have a link to that we could probably send out to everybody after the webinar. This is kind of think of it as a cheat sheet, right? It's a website that they can go to with an image that shows, where do I manage my profile? Where do I go to search? Where do I start a new chat? How do I find something? that's something that they can keep on hand to very quickly reference to know what's what. All right, now we're going to talk about some shortcuts for productivity, and you can call it hacks if you like. We like hacking things to make them work a little bit better, but these are built in. You know, so we call them hacks. They're not really. We're not breaking it. It's intended to do this. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with the feed, the top left navigation. The feed allows you to customize your view of what you're seeing within your activity. If you click on the little filter icon to the right of that, you can narrow things down more specific, right? If you want to look for a certain document or for a particular conversation, click on that, type in the keyword, and it'll narrow it down. The three dots there, we call it the hamburger menu. The 3 dots there on the filter, if you click on that, it'll pop up with more options. So you can narrow it down for only unread conversations. You can look at replies, reactions, missed calls, voicemails. These are all the ones that are built in. We're going to click on unread here to kind of show you what that looks like. So now here, this is all the unread activity that's gone on, things that you may have missed or overlooked, which can, as I said, the more channels and the more things that you have and the more employees you have using Teams, it's easy for things to get buried. This is a very quick and easy way to find the stuff that you haven't found without having to scroll up and down or type different things to search for it. We highly recommend using this to make sure that you're not overlooking things. All right, next we're going to go to the chat section of Microsoft Teams. And here in this chat, we've got a group, right? So you can chat with 1, 2, 3. I don't know that there's really a limit to how many different individuals you can chat with within Teams. And in this particular example, we've got Alex, Isaiah, and Lynn are all part of a group chat. You may want to rename this group so that instead of saying Alex, Isaiah, and Lynn, it's for a specific topic. If you click the little pencil icon to the top next to their names, you can then rename that group. Here we named it Marketing Project Group. And now you'll notice at the top and also on the left in the chat feed, you can see Marketing Project Group. So in your list of chat, it's very, very noticeable, very easy to tell what that group conversation is about. You can click the 3 dots icon as well and pin that, which then moves it to the very top. I have found that within our organization, certain conversations, certain individuals I speak with on a lot more frequent basis than others, and so I've pinned those to the top so I don't have to scroll up and down through the recent chat list. It's another shortcut and time saver. Next, we're going to talk about how to attach and share documents within a group and within chat. So inside of the chat, down at the bottom, there's a little paperclip icon. You click on that. Click on that. It's going to give you 2 options. So you can attach from OneDrive from the cloud, or you can upload locally from the computer. We're going to select OneDrive here, and it's going to pop up with these are the list of documents within OneDrive. We selected the sales invoice template and click share, and that's now within the chat. And anybody in that group is able to open it, view it, edit it within Microsoft Teams, or they can download it to their computer. They can click on the 3 dots at the top right. You can give reactions. You can share it from there outside of Teams as well. In this example, we're going to share it to Outlook. So by clicking those 3 dots, click share to Outlook. It doesn't have to leave Microsoft Teams. We're still in Microsoft Teams, and it popped up. We're going to send an email out with that attachment and the Teams conversation to somebody outside of Teams. So here you can type who you're sending it to and click send. There's also options within here to encrypt the message. You'll notice at the top there's an encrypt button. By clicking on that, it's going to encrypt it, make it a little bit more secure for some extra security. And then you can click send to send that out. Now, I've mentioned this a couple of times already, being able to open, view, and edit documents within Teams. That's because as part of their hub for collaboration, Microsoft has really baked all of their Office 365 into Microsoft Teams, which includes, project management, content collaboration. So I want to show you how that works in here. In this example with this document, we can click the 3 dots and we can then edit it in Microsoft Teams. And you'll notice on the left, we're still in Teams, right? We still have the same chat menus, the calls, etc. But here's the document. If we wanted to have a conversation with that team about this document, we can click the conversation button at the top right, and then we can add comments, notes, etc., saying, hey, we need to edit this, tweak that, offering true collaboration on this document. There's also an editor option. If you click this little, I don't even know what to call this icon. It's Microsoft's new editor icon. But by clicking on that, it comes up with some suggestions. And this is through Microsoft's AI and some pretty cool things on the back end. But it will give you spelling, grammar, acronyms, clarity, all kinds of information to make sure that the document flows as well as you would like. If you haven't used this before, I highly recommend you go take a look at it, play around with it. This one, you can see it's 93% reviewed. It's because there's one spelling thing. Once you go and correct that, now you're at 100%, and that document's complete according to Microsoft's editor. All right, and then exiting out of that application takes you back to the same chat group that we were in before. Now, earlier I talked about all the third-party integrations and other things that are built into Microsoft Teams. You can add those to your chats. You can add them to the channels within the Teams section. There's various different areas that they can be added. You click the little plus icon here to add a tab into this group, and it's going to pop up with all these different options here. So at the top of the list is the Microsoft built-in ones, right? The Excel, OneNote, Power BI, PowerPoint, etc. But below that, you've got all kinds of third-party integrations that you can do. And they have a search filter at the top where you can, if you wanted to add Zoom, type Zoom, and it'll narrow it down to that Zoom piece, and you can add that tab so that group just has to click over to that tab, and now they're in that other application. All right, this is another cool feature that I think we use it. We have a team with various different channels for alerts. So we have third-party systems that we want to be notified if there's, sometimes it's good things, sometimes it's bad things, right? We want to receive those alerts in Teams so that everybody's aware of them. And so we email enabled a channel within one of our teams. And you can do that by clicking on the 3 dots there for that and clicking Get Email Address. And what this does is it's going to create an email address that you can use. You can copy it, paste it. You can make a shortcut, make a contact within your contacts list for what that is. And then any email that goes to that email address is going to populate into this channel in Microsoft Teams. We're going to show you how that works. So going out to Outlook, clicking on a new message, pasting in that email address. Now we're going to go ahead and attach a document to that, typed in a little bit of text in the body, and click send. And here back to Microsoft Teams, there you've got that email with the information, the attachment, that can all be opened and viewed right there in Microsoft Teams. All right, this is another huge time saver and shortcut. At the very top, it's hard to miss, there's this huge search bar. That can be used for searching, and there's also, you can send messages, other stuff, there's a bunch of shortcuts. As you start typing, if you type the /, you're going to see this lengthy list of options of shortcuts that you can use. /go to, that'll take you to that team channel, whatever, /help, gives you some help, on what you need to do. /unread will filter that channel for anything unread. We're not going to go through all those because we don't have time, but I highly recommend you go through and play with those. There's also some other features built in, Microsoft Translator, where you can translate languages if you have multiple languages within your organization. And immersive reader is another one that you can have the text read to you if that's something that you need. We're running a little short on time. I'm going to try and breeze through the last parts of this. Being that we're an IT company that focuses on cybersecurity, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't talk about some best practices for securing teams. So some of this stuff may not make sense to you guys. You'd have to work with your IT department or whoever handles the administration of your Microsoft Teams. Make sure that ATP for Teams is enabled. That's the security side of things on Microsoft side. You want to make sure that's turned on. You want to make sure that external domains are not allowed in Teams. You can integrate Teams with other organizations, allowing them to share content inside of your teams and you to share with them, and vice versa. We recommend that you only whitelist approved organizations instead of allowing anybody. We also want to make sure that you've got your advanced information protection and data loss prevention policies in place and created for Teams to protect your company data. And then ensure that external file sharing in Teams is enabled only for the approved cloud storage services. If your organization doesn't want documents shared through Dropbox, then make sure that Dropbox is not enabled to be shared there, and your policies align with your company policy. Also, we recommend that you standardize your process with checklists, talk about data loss prevention, enable safe link and safe attachments, and make sure that your staff knows how to use Teams, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Also, there are third-party add-on solutions. Microsoft does not provide backup for the data on Microsoft Teams. And so if stuff's deleted, manipulated, corrupted, or attacked via ransomware or otherwise, you may lose data. So we do highly recommend a third-party backup solution that backs up the content of Teams as well as other parts of Microsoft 365. And then make sure that you've got necessary security in place for sharing your content and files within your organization and outside. And that's it. I don't know if we've got any questions here. I haven't been monitoring the chat as I've gone through this. I'm going to go ahead and end my screen share and...
Yeah, that was great, Mike. I do appreciate that. Really quickly, here, let me turn on my video here. Excuse me one moment. So really quickly, the winner of our raffle is Lucinda Martinez, and it is for a $50 Amazon gift card. So we'll get in contact with you via email and make sure that you get that gift card. Once again, thank you, Mike.
And I owe Lucinda a phone call too. We've been meaning to talk this week, so I'll give you a call and get your email address to send that over to you, Lucinda, after this.
Good. So yeah, once again, thanks, Mike. In the meantime, let's answer some questions from our viewers. If we are unable to get to any of your questions today, just we'll send you an email here in a follow-up. If you guys want to shoot us an email and reply back with some of the questions that you may have that you weren't able to ask during the webinar, we'll do so. We'll make sure to reply back. So the first question is, how easy is it to integrate a service like QuickBooks into Microsoft Teams?
I would say that depends largely on what part of QuickBooks you want to integrate with it. We would probably want to have a conversation on it, whether you want reporting, whether you want the full thing. It's not really complicated to integrate or add anything into Teams. Microsoft's made it fairly simple. They've got excellent documentation on adding it. It would just be a matter of making sure that you're doing it in a way that your data is secure, that you're limiting access to that QuickBooks integration to who you want to have access to it.
See, so it's mostly a big question here is what kind of key takeaway, what is it that you want particularly from the integration?
Yeah. And anytime you're looking at an integration, you want to look at, okay, what's the purpose of it? Where do we want it to be visible within Teams, and who do we want to have access to it? Just like when I was talking about planning and preparing for your team's deployment. What teams, what channels, who should be in what area. It works the same with integrating your third-party apps. You want to look at, okay, who should have access to it, where should it go, and then how much data do we want coming into teams.
Great. Can certain conversations be flagged as inappropriate for work? If not, what is our responsibility? I guess kind of a liability question there.
That is a great question. I haven't been asked that one before. Austin, are you aware if there's any ways of having, filters in place that flag things to notify HR if there's inappropriate comments made?
At this time, there's not. We're kind of on the honor system here. But the beautiful thing about technology is there's always screenshots and forwarding. If anything is ever deemed inappropriate and needs to be reported, just like in any conversation, any way that you're interacting with another employee, whether it be via instant messaging or even a face-to-face communication, you're always going to run that risk. And there's and that would open up a door into a pseudo nanny state that I don't feel like most employers or employees would really want to get involved with.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So yeah, that's a great suggestion. Screenshots and forward it to HR or your boss or whoever needs to be notified.
Yep. Can I set up a video call on Teams?
Yes, I didn't have time. This was just a quick introduction and high-level overview. I do have a separate YouTube video that I produced a couple months ago on how to set up meetings. So Ariana, maybe we can include a link to those YouTube videos for those that want to learn a little bit more about it. But yes, it is very easy to do. It's literally like 3 clicks, and you can send that request out. Even within, it's less clicks from within team. If you're going to have a video chat with somebody within your organization, you just click on their name and click the video button. So it's very, very easy.
Awesome. Well, that kind of wraps up our questions. This was great. It looks like we ended in a pretty good timing. Once again, we will be sending you guys an email with the follow-up consultation, and we'll also have recording of this video inside the email as well. You can learn more about Microsoft Teams and integrations with Microsoft Teams by visiting our website and scheduling a consultation with one of the experts here at iTernal. Once again, if you have any further questions, shoot us an email and we'll make sure to get back to you, even if that means we need to schedule a strategy session for more of a deeper conversation. Next month, we'll be having another webinar. And the next time we'll be talking about how to better handle accounting and invoicing using Connect Booster. Until then, stay safe. Thank you, everyone. I do appreciate you, everyone who attended.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.